Hey guys, Chairman here, back with another Locals feature live match replay with commentary by yours truly. And it's been a while since we've done one of these. I've definitely been procrastinating a ton. And one of the reasons why I sound like I'm whispering almost is because, well, it's really late. And I figured I really need to get some of these out. I have a bunch of them in the backlog and they're starting to pile up. So, better late than never. And today we will have a game between Key and Attack on Titan. Key player starts off with the level 0, the on reverse memory aqua. It's kind of weird. Like when it gets reversed, you can send the top card of your stock to clock, send the card to memory, and then reveal 2 to potentially add both. So it's a pretty good card. Pretty good start, but Attack on Titan player here is going to answer back with a Tri-Field. That's a pretty powerful Tri-Field, and it's a Tri-Field boosted by this Reiner. This Reiner, I believe, pumps power, and then the Mikasa is a clean cut. And so, pretty good. Pretty good start for the Attack on Titan player. Got a decent amount of aggression here, and we'll level up the Key player to level 1 very quickly. Yeah, as I was saying, this is from a long time ago. It's like, I think this footage is probably 2 weeks old at the time that I'm doing the commentary for it. So yeah, I really need to get on doing some of this. So yeah, I hope guys don't mind a bit of a almost whispering. It's not quite ASMR because I don't really know how to do that. Key player is thinking about their turn. Usually a Key player's level 1 turn, if they're playing the 8-door deck is, 8 hands deck is pretty straightforward. So the fact that they're thinking means that their hand is not quite sculpted. Does play the Rico, I forgot her name. This gosh, what's that little buster girl name? I think her last name is like Kurogai or something. Yuiko? Yeah, Yuiko. And use the Yuiko to grab a Shiki here. Wow, going for double resonance back row, but does not seem to have the resonance. Well, it doesn't have stock either to be able to use the resonance here. It does have a 1-0, but doesn't seem like they have the climax. They do not have the climax, so they're going to go ahead and proceed to attack, at which point the Reiner is going to run away. That's a bit of a miss by the Key player, not respecting the Reiner, and therefore now will not be able to get the salvage off with the Shiki effect. That Reiner is such a good card. I'm kind of surprised I don't see more people play it. Such a powerful card. Alright, Attack on Titan player looking good. Still at level 0. Clocks to 0.6. Can't hit level 1 quite yet. I don't think that's actually ideal here. I think would want to definitely hit level 1 and play like a climax combo at this point and just put a lot of advantage through, but it is what it is. Still think Attack on Titan player is in a great position, especially if they can do a Tri-Field, which the Historia is going to help facilitate. Oh, and reveals a climax off the top. That's an easy brainstorm here. I think you're 100% brainstorm. Yeah, that's right. Such a good, easy way to get some advantage. First deck brainstorms are very powerful in the sense that if you can get them off, which it's pretty difficult to get them off because they're not guaranteed, but if you can get them off, they represent a ton of advantage at a very early point in the game where advantage is not that easy to come by. So definitely very, very powerful here. We'll hit 2 and decides to salvage it. I think the 3-2 salvage here is kind of interesting. I would imagine that you would want to salvage more like mill, because you're kind of out a lot at this point, but chooses to salvage an early play. We'll see if that comes into play sooner or later. It'd be very interesting. Goes ahead and does the same exact field setup. That field setup is definitely really, really strong. The Reiner being able to pump power, and then the Mikasa being able to clean cut to the back row. And we'll probably be seeing that Mikasa used to save the Historia here once it is able to secure the reverse. So yeah, it uses the effect. after the battle to rest the Historia and move it to the back row. Such a powerful. It decides to save the Reiner instead. Interesting. So now the Reiner doesn't work if he's in back row because it's a runaway runner. So if there's a character facing the card, you can move it to another place. But since there's no character facing this Reiner doesn't actually get to do anything here. But it will be able to pump 1k power on the following turn. Now that it's in the back row, I guess it's still a better save than the Historia. Although if that was the case, I think the Historia should have sided the Shiki, and the Reiner should have fronted the 1-0 so that you can at least have the Historia on the board right now to soak up some damage, especially since you are out a bunch of climaxes. So a bit of a minor misplay there, I would say. But anyways, key player is now resonancing and getting some advantage here. I think you should keep going here, yeah. Potentially get a better card. Because you already have a 3-2 in hand, so you don't really need another 3-2. Goes and grabs a 2-1. That won't come into play until a bit later. Decides to do the second resonance here. It's probably just looking for some good attackers. I believe that's an early play healer. He's just going to go ahead and grab it. Thinks that his compression is pretty good here, so there's no real reason to decompress anymore. And if he triggers the pants, then he can easily get a sideways card to his hand, and that's probably something that he would want at this point. Doesn't seem like he has a climax, so he's just deciding on what to play. I think that's a pretty good card to play here. Goes ahead and does climax swaps. I guess he did a bit of a switcheroo, and then using the auto play effect. So order isn't perfect there, but it's fine. Wednesdays is usually our more casual day, so not too worried about it. Does go ahead and use the event at this point, which I feel like if you're going to use the event, you should have used the event before you did your double resonance, in which case you can pay out the blind stock. And so just in case that's like a climax or something. Alright, goes ahead and salvages an event with the combo. This is a pretty good position to be in, I think. Alright, triggers a climax. That's probably going to add back another copy of there is no copy of the 1-0 climax. I don't think you would salvage at this point then, if that's the case. Alright, goes ahead and directs. Now that I think about it, it's kind of interesting that he didn't choose to attack with the Shiki to get the salvage here. I wonder if that's a bit of a misplay as well. You could totally get over this Mikasa with the Shiki. The Shiki is definitely not that bad, especially after you play the event with both resonance targets. You can pump the Shiki up to an extremely high power level to get the reverse and then get that extra filter. So yeah, that does seem like a bit of a missed opportunity here for the key player. But the key player was able to stick a decent amount of damage, and that's pretty important, I would say. AOT player playing the Connie and hitting another one off on the brainstorm. He did take a lot of damage here, and so was able to use brainstorm, and that is the what's it called, the climax brainstorm. So it does get to add back the door to hand for the Mikasa combo. That's very powerful, but only seems to have one Mikasa. That's not ideal here. However, the Connie, which is a very interesting card, basically is like Shiki at home. Also has the ability to salvage in LD and or corpse when it gets in a reverse, if it has a marker, and it gets the marker by doing the top check effect. So yeah, we'll be using the Connie here. We'll not be using the Connie here. It looks like just gonna be using it to compress with a marker, and then attacking with the Reiner instead to pump power to the 1-0 Connie to attempt to beat over the counter range, because the 1-0 event will give up to 3k power, split in 15s by virtue of the back rows. So I think he's trying to do this to be able to stack enough power on the Connie so that I can beat over 9k power, which is the threshold that you need to overcome. Ooh, that 3 was a pretty strong stick there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then this Connie, I believe, is going to be over 9k, in which case Key will not be able to use the counter, and especially since there's a climax left in deck, so it's not a very good opportunity to use it anyways, because you want to cancel rather than mill that climax out with the mandatory Brainstorm 3. So I think pretty good. Key canceled twice there. Would have liked a triple cancel, of course, but only canceled twice. It is what it is. But I think it's in a pretty good spot here. Has double resonance here. Can get a bunch of cards back to hand. Doesn't really need to clock if they don't have to, but they could if they wanted to, just to get extra advantage. Not have to pay as much stock. And yeah, I mean, AOT player has been putting on really good aggression, has been playing climaxes, and just, yeah, always like the tri-field at level 0 is really strong. But I think the issue here now is a bit of a lacking in hand advantage. Was only able to combo once with the Mikasa, and it only added a 2-1 arm in back row, so that wasn't particularly good card, I think. Did trigger the choice there though, which gave them a bit more resources, but we'll see how they transition to the level 2 and 3 game, because yeah, I believe the resource on the AOT player side is could be better. I'm a little curious why they didn't go for the Connie, especially since the Connie here would be able to salvage quite literally anything in the waiting room, or like, yeah, and the waiting room is basically the entire deck at this point. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting choice to give up the Connie reverse for the extra power, but it does make sense if your goal is to guarantee get the 1-0 off the board and deny the counter. I think, yeah, I think the priority here is good. Alright, what should the key player do? I mean, I think you just obviously start off with 1 resonance. Now, I think at this point you want to save the second resonance. The first resonance, definitely good resonance to do. The second resonance, however, you do want to save until, okay, I guess he just goes for it. I don't really agree with this. I believe you should save the resonance for after you do the blinds or the stocking with the events, because then, you know, if you do hit blind stock, you can pay it out immediately with the resonance ability. If you hit climaxes in, that is. Yeah, now unfortunately those resonances did not get very good cards. Now has like a number of the 3-2 in hand, which is less than ideal. And we'll probably have to just like chump attackers here. One of the things I really like about Key Deck is just playing the Rin drop search. Now I don't remember if he's on Rin drop search right now, but just in a situation like this where your hand is not great, a Rin drop search definitely could. Oh, okay, there we go. I believe that was a blind stock as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and use the drop salvage effect to grab the 1-0 from the waiting room, and we'll use the clock swap effect to grab the event out of clock, which is pretty good here. And is able to probably play the 1-0. Oh, decides to play the early play to heal the stock. Interesting. Getting rid of one of the back rows too, not one of the front rows. How peculiar. I'm not sure. I understand the line here. Misses on the brainstorm. That is definitely quite unfortunate. Oh, goes for the the brainstorm event again. What is he gonna put in there? I mean, he could just put a resonance target. Decides to play a 3-2 Misuzu. No, decides against it, just puts in the level 0 here. Does get the blind stock here, very good. But now that is truly blind stock. You don't have no idea what the stock is. Could be a climax, could be clean, who knows. But now is deciding on attack order and where to challenge the board here. I believe you can get over everything. Maybe not the Reiner. Reiner's actually kind of big. This the drop salvage clock swap is like 500 power, so I don't think that thing's getting over much in this situation, but we'll be able to get rid of the low ones at least, I think. Alright, just double checking zones here. But yeah, like I was saying, I think being able to save resonance for after using the event is definitely a good place to be in, although I don't know if the key player had the luxury in this particular moment. But yeah, if you had the drop search in, drop search and drop salvage are just really valuable in this deck because your resonance is not going to get great selectivity off the top 3, but if you do have a drop search or drop salvage, that's where your selectivity really shines through. Those cards will bridge you to it, and you don't really need that much stock in this deck. Your floor is pretty high in that sense. And the Rin specifically can also come back to your hand if you reveal level 2 or higher. And this deck does play a fair share of their level 2s or higher cards, in which case you can just crash the Rin, and then if you reveal level 2 or higher, you just get it back, and it's like you didn't waste the card at all. So yeah, I really like Rin in this deck. I think it's a really solid fit. The drop salvage is also quite good. I would probably play 2/2 of both utility cards. I think they're just very important. Alright, goes ahead and starts with the 3/2. Looks like it will be a front attack here for 4 damage. That's a pretty big swing. We'll see if AOT player is able to cancel this off the fresh deck. That is a pretty big deal. I think if they cancel it, they'll be like really far ahead. But if they don't cancel it, I think it'll get way closer to parity here. So let's see. 3, and 4, and cancel on 4. Wow, that's actually crazy. That's basically the best thing you could have possibly asked for. Cancel on the last card. Wow, that's really strong. Goes ahead and uses the 3/2 when it reverses the battling opponent. If you've played an event this turn, you can pay 1 to salvage. Also gets 1k power before the reverse effect when you use an event. So looks like he's grabbing back the resonance, thinking this is probably going to take a little bit longer. He just wants to be able to get the hand advantage necessary for a prolonged game. Cancels on 2 here? Crazy. 3? There's no way. He cancels on 3? Perfect card cancels on the second deck. That's insane. Wow. I think he just won the game off that turn. That was crazy. Perfect card cancels on the second deck. Insanity. Absolutely insanity. I think it's kind of rough in that situation. The triggers actually led to exact cancels. Would have been able to stick a decent amount of damage this turn if wasn't perfect card cancels off of 2 attacks that were triggers. So yeah, I gotta be feeling bad about that one, but it is Weiss. It does happen in an alternate universe. AOT player takes all of it, and then in this universe, AOT player took none of it. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's definitely gonna give the AOT player a huge advantage in this game now. They're like so far ahead. He's going to commit to back row. He is going to commit to the back row. I don't know if I 100% agree with this. Just because the back row here isn't going to be doing much, especially in the key matchup. Key's not really playing big bodies or early plays or anything like that. Nor are they really targeting your own units, so the hex drift doesn't really come up. In fact, you just want to be very aggressive against key and just get rid of their potential to stall out the game. Because I think in a prolonged game state, Key just definitely has the advantage. They go stock swap Fumio, and then they do their Selimi Suzu combo, and you can just be very, very dead from very far away. Alright, looks like he is going to tap the Armin. Is he going to tap the Armin? Okay, decides to tap the Armin, asking for powers, but I think you definitely are going to choose the 3/2 Aaron here, giving it hexproof just to protect against something like an anti-change counter, which would be pretty devastating. No, it decides to choose the Connie. Interesting. If he gets anti-change, that is going to suck quite a bit. But I think it's what you gotta do. You gotta make sure that you don't get absolutely got by something like an anti-change counter. Yeah, chooses the 3-2 Aaron as expected and plays a sideways card. This is no combo. He's just playing a sideways card for the hell of it. Incredible gameplay. He actually had one in hand too after the triple cancel. That's just peak Weiss Schwarz. What a skilled player. Alright, starting off with the Aaron early play attack here for 1, 2, 3. And the trigger is for 4. That's quite a lot of damage. Alright, key player thinking whether or not to mill here. To mill or not to mill, that is the eternal question. And it is kind of tricky because the mill does, even though the mill is bad, being able to play an event at counter speed allows you to give one of your characters hand on court, which could be relevant here. I think that's what he's thinking about. Whether it's worth it to play it right now, risk milling climaxes, but just being able to get some power and also the on-court effect. Alright, stocks to 0. Brainstorming time. 1, 2, 3. Hits all characters. Blind stocks 1. If that's all clean, that's 5 clean cards milled off the top. Quite impressive. Just from one card. Very, very exciting. Wait, what is that all about? Oh, it just took the 4. He just took the 4! Wow! He just took the 4. That's actually kind of crazy. Front for 2? Is he gonna take the there's no way. There has to be like a ton of climaxes in there. What is going on? Maybe blind stock climax? Just always unlucky? It's possible. Wait, this is actually quite unlucky for the key player. Just takes a 2 as well. Just levels up here. Wait, he straight up levels up. And doesn't have green or yellow. I mean, I don't think he needs yellow, but does have green for Fumio. That's actually kind of a big deal, potentially. Wait, he's all out? Wait, does he have climaxes? Oh, sorry, not climax. Doesn't he have events in hand? Oh, did he actually just blind select the last climax and he just wasn't aware of it? Oh, that is so unfortunate. I mean, that's why you really want to be able to pay out the blind stocks when you blind stock them, because you don't want to be in a situation like this where you have to second guess whether your deck has climaxes or not. Yeah, I think he's just a whole level down at this point. Just pretty brutal. Yeah, I think he definitely, there's a lot of randomness, especially with the brainstorms, but yeah, so it can be a bit of a feast or famine deck. You know, when you're feasting, your brainstorms are clean, your blind stock is clean, and then you just cancel. But when you're famining, this is the true famine here. You know, blind stocking climaxes, milling climaxes, all that stuff. And then your deck just chills. Yeah, quite bad. But we shall see. This is going to be for a solid 2 damage. Actually, is it even 2 damage? It's 3 damage. Cancel on 3. Wonderful cancel. Keeping in the game here, actually. I think without that cancel on 3, this would be pretty much a foregone conclusion. Kiwi player would be at 3-4. That's just unplayable. Alright, attack on target player. Does the change effect? Deciding to use the change effect. We'll be able to top check up to 5 for a, I believe it's just a core character. Actually, no, it could be any character. It should be any card, actually, because it's the top check 5. Yeah, I am quite tired. This is quite late, so excuse me if a bit of a commentary mess at this point. Top checks here. Ideally, you just want to check very slowly to make sure you don't hit out a climax, but decides just to go 5 here. I wonder how many climaxes he hit in 5. Oh, 2 climaxes? Dang, I can't believe he went on 5. I would have stopped earlier if there were at least 2 climaxes in deck. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Although I guess, you know, that's playing around stock swap. could be majorly respecting the stock swap. Let's see. Key player needs, what is it? Needs 4 stock at the start of attack because it's pay 5 or something like that. And so needs 5 stock, including playing the Michiru. Am I just bad at math? I might just be bad at math. Okay, Misuzu is a 3-2, and it is pay 4. So you need 6 stock. No, you need 5 stock because you attack once to get to 4 stock. So 5 stock needed for the full combo, and he has an additional 3 stock to work with. That is a stock swap or a Fumio opportunity. No green for the Fumio though. But yeah, I guess just milling down to 1 card, really playing around that stock swap, not letting any climaxes be left in deck so that can be taken advantage of with stock swap. This deck doesn't get to run something like a Botan or like a something that can shuffle back for your opponent, which would really be devastating with in tandem with a stock swap effect. But yeah. Alright, key player is thinking on the clock here. I think clocking is probably not the way to go. I think at this point you would want to try to heal down if you can. Just to blink another turn, because realistically you're not going to be killing from 2-0 against an opponent who is decently compressed. You definitely need to out that compression. Decides the clock here. Interesting. I don't know if I would have done that, but he's a braver man than I. Is he just gonna go for the Misuzu combo? There's no way. This is too early. He can't pull a trigger this early. I don't think it kills. And if it doesn't kill, it's just not worth doing. Pay for ditch 3 blue cards. That's actually so hard. Okay, starts off with the Resonance. Get some cards to hand. That's quite good. Can add the 1-0 or the event. Chooses the 1-0 here. Okay, double Resonance. Just get some cards. I like it. Climax swap, Rico. I think Rico is the choice here. You definitely go Rico here just to see what the top card is. If it's a Climax, you might want to do something like a Climax swap. Or not a Climax swap. You might want to do something like a Brainstorm. Pay 1, ditch 1. Pays out a Climax and discards a Climax for an early play healer. Interesting. It's a pretty roundabout way of doing things. I don't know if I'm particularly fond of that, but it is what it is. What are they talking about? Oh, okay. No, he's just doing the swap effect now. Putting green into clock. Now has access to the Fumio. Very strong, very powerful. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that, you can just do both effects. Like the utility on that card is insane. Oh, and there goes green color. I guess not gonna be playing Fumio after all. Alright, but it doesn't seem like key player is committing to a Misuzu turn if this is part of the line. So in that case, I do think it's kind of strange that they discarded. I guess maybe they just have an extra pants in hand. But yeah, the fact that they discarded the level 1 combo pants, because I do think he added a level 1 combo to hand sometime during this turn. And so if they had the combo, that would have been definitely pretty good. But instead, going for a singular combo, which should be enough to impress at this point. Okay, goes ahead and plays the event for Brainstorm. See if he can get that extra stock. He does. But again, once again, no way to pay out the stock to know if it's clean or not. Quite unfortunate. Now, it'd be very funny if it wasn't clean. But yeah, just like have the ability to pay out stock. If you can, just save it for a situation like this where you do hit the blind stock and you really need to know if it's eaten up a climax or not, because that does really affect the strategy of the game. Alright, moving some cards around and playing a sideways card. going to go and add back one of the events. Again, once again, a little shocked that both are not represented here. But yeah, we'll see if he can stick some good damage. Key player swinging in for the 2, and that is going to cause a refresh from our AOT player. No climax at the very bottom. I think that's why the key player was attacking in this order to, yeah, potentially if the bottom card was a climax to do a bit of an easy low damage option here. The refresh, the cut, the penalty. Okay, I guess the cut's gonna take a little longer. No penalty quite yet. Alright, the penalty and the second damage. Everything sticks. And AOT player is at 2-3 now. Doing some quick math. The 2 on it isn't very big, but it is, I believe, just big enough to kill the Connie and cancel off the top for the AOT player. AOT player takes another 3, is at 2-6. Probably is just gonna hit themselves to 3 and go for a finishing turn into this key board. It is definitely not a very strong board, and I'm sure AOT will be able to break into this scene quite easily. Alright, goes ahead and loses those 2 and goes for the clock. Okay, choosing a different card clock. I'll allow it. But yeah, now going for the clock into level 3, probably going for a good final turn against Key here. Mills 4 hits nothing on the brainstorm. That was a pay 1 brainstorm. Going to do the pay 1 brainstorm again, trying to dig for something. Hits 2 climaxes here. Very, very powerful. Going for the Aaron Titan play, I think pretty sensible. Aaron Titan definitely a very strong card, especially into compression, and grabs back a anti-change counter, which I'm not really sure why. Goes ahead and plays John. John will summon out the Aaron Titan, and another one from hand. It looks like, yes. 2 Aaron Titans and a John. I don't think that John is going to be able to pay the cost for the effect, unfortunately. So the John will actually just be a vanilla swing, vanilla 2 soul swing. But that's fine because this John has enabled the rest of this squad. And yeah, we're going to do the Icy Tail with the Aaron Titan. Bottom 4 counts zeros. So that is 1. An exciting burn 1. It's not very exciting, but does hit the last card out of deck, refreshing with a pretty good number. And yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to here. We'll see if the AOT player does have enough gas in the tank to close it out right here, or if the key gets to play another turn. Honestly, that mill was quite unfortunate, because I'm pretty sure if yeah, I'm pretty sure if Key was able to, or I don't think Key actually had any climaxes left in deck, and so just being able to mill the rest. Oh, unfortunate. Does take the cancels on 4. Very nice. Yeah, but yeah, John. Oh, attack order a little bit wrong here. If the AOT player did attack with John last and triggered this choice to get the stock, would have been able to use the John burn 4 effect here. But well, actually, I don't think they have enough cards in hand, so it is what it is. Cancels on 3 here. Alright, goes ahead. Second Iron Titan, bottom 4. What do we got? Revealing a level 0 and a climax. So that will be for 2 damage, I believe. No, 3 damage. Wait, 4 damage? Wait, what? Wait, how is that 4? Did he reveal all zeros? I thought I saw an event there or something, but maybe it was all zeros. Okay, well, any case, that is the Attack on Titan player taking the victory over Key. I think mostly just from that one turn where the Attack on Titan player canceled super well. I think that was basically just that just turned the game on its head, and it is Weiss, right? It's you can be a little unlucky in that sense, and it is what it is. Oh, I just checked. It is 4 level 0s. That was a burn 4 by the Iron Titan. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good game overall. Pretty quick. I mean, both players playing relatively aggressively. Especially the AOT player, very interesting playstyle there. Playing climaxes even without combo, and not comboing a lot. Only using one Mikasa combo, but still able to have enough gas in the tank to get to level 3, play down the end board, the finishers, and have enough discard for at least 2 Iron Titans. Just not the John, unfortunately. But yeah, very a nice game there. Congratulations to the Attack on Titan player for coming out with the victory on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed that match, and especially my sleepy ramblings. Hopefully they weren't too weird. But yeah, that's it for this time. Let me know if you guys want to see any other specific matchups, but I will try to get the other gameplay videos up as soon as possible. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.